let's begin. We are here with my brother Peter. This will be the first episode of our podcast. We're gonna call it Bite the Bullet, because this is about hospitality and what's it really like to work in hospitality. Because
what's behind the scenes?
What's behind the scenes, what's behind the smile, what's in the dirty linen cupboard. So Peter, should introduce yourself.
Okay.
I think.
So, yes, I've got some hospitality experience. When I say some, I mean around 8-9 years. Started as a pot washer, then I cooked a little bit, I was a chef, but just for like a few months, and then I started on the floor. I became a waiter, from there supervisor, assistant manager, then restaurant manager. So climbed through the ladder, started in an Italian restaurant chain, just like he did. It was back in 2014, so it was quite a while back. Things were much different back then.
Yeah, so you can see that he had experience in both sides, the back and the front, and I think it will be interesting to see what he has to say about it, because he started hospitality 2 years ago?
Three.
More
than 3 now.
So he did what most of us want to do, but we never made it yet, so we're still in it. But
You got time. You got time, don't worry. You'll get there.
He did it. So I thought about doing some questions about your person.
Alright.
We want to find out about your personality first. It's going to be like a lightning round. So when you hear the question, you should answer right away. This is not
No
something
thinking,
you
no
think
time
on.
to think.
It's just literally boom. Okay? So, where are you working currently?
So I'm a personal trainer at Pew Gym.
What's the best place or the most poshest place you ever worked?
It's the Oaksmere at Eye. It's a lovely 4-star hotel with a big, I think 16 acres of land, their own butchers and all that. It was so nice.
Nice. So you saw the top as well. It's
Yes.
very nice. What's your favorite color?
Green,
What's your favorite animal?
it's a dog. All dogs.
And what kind of bread would you be?
Bread? Okay, what kind of bread? I'd say I'll definitely be some sourdough.
Sourdough.
I like wholemeal sourdough.
Okay.
You know, it's not that nice when you just eat it as it is, but if you toast it, next level.
So you think about nutritional value as well?
100%.
Okay.
100%.
I think I would be garlic bread.
Garlic bread.
Garlic bread.
That's nasty.
Any kind of bread just with garlic butter.
Cheese on top or no
Cheese.
cheese?
Maybe cheese. Yeah.
Garlic bread with
Maybe
cheese.
cheese, yes.
So you see, you are a starter on the whole main meal, because you can make a nice...
Yeah, I can.
You can make a nice sandwich with a...
You know what? This tells you a little about your personality from me already. So you.
Oh, fuck, am I out?
And I have another question, which is not even here, but
Okay.
it's actually a way deeper question.
Okay.
Okay. If you could be a prawn, would you be
A prawn?
a prawn? Yes.
Identify prawn.
Prawn, like
Like a proper animal, like a
Yeah.
living prawn or a...
a living prawn in the sea, living the best life,
You know
or
what?
not the best life. A prawn.
They ain't got too much to worry about, to be honest. They are just prawns, but they're quite slow. They're quite slow.
Depends on the current, isn't it?
Yeah, you know, you can just get like fished out.
You can.
You can end up in a net, but you can end up on a sunny beach.
Why? Here can you not?
You know what? Take it. I'd be a
That's what I'm
prawn.
saying. Listen.
I'd be a prawn.
Yeah, I would be a prawn.
I got lots of flags, like 6 or 8 or something like that. I'm almost a spider, but I'm not scary. I'm full with protein.
I think about it about the race down there. You know, you could be a successful prawn way easier than you're a successful dinner.
How can I be a successful prawn?
I don't know. You could like
Identify. Tell me 3 successful prawns. Name me 3 prawns.
Was there one in SpongeBob?
That had to be.
That had to be.
That had to be. Yeah.
Guys, if you know a successful prawn, please tell us who's a successful prawn.
Yes, but you got dangerous animals in your family, so you can be a tiger prawn.
Tiger prawn. Okay. Right. I think that's enough for this little prawn question. You're taking it too far. That's fine.
Never enough of proms.
Okay, so there's another question which, I mean, like a little segment that I wanted to talk about, a bit more serious matters.
Okay.
I don't know how much insight you have in this, but I think we have a good conversation about it. So what's the situation today for waiters who are just beginning their careers and managers as well? Like, what's it like to do hospitality stuff today, or like 3 years ago when you finished, and 10 years ago when we started? What do you think?
I think there's a huge difference in there. You see, I would say the biggest major impact is Brexit. Because if someone comes from a place where, you know, that's your only way out of a country, where you just don't see your future, and then you come to the UK and then you start to work, you see hospitality as the slope you have to climb, you know, as the hill you have to climb. That's why you take it seriously. You see it as a career. Then you see other people like your manager, your area manager. Oh my God, these guys are so cool. They made it. They drive a nice car or something. They make good money. They don't have to polish the cutlery. I want to be like that. So your goal is to climb the ladder, climb the ladder. And now what I see nowadays, if you just get a new waiter, all they are here is just to do the hours, just to get the shit done, pick up the little money they make, and then they go on to do other things. They don't see it anymore as a career.
Yeah, well, you see, that's a very good point. That's a very good point, and you're right as well. You're right as well, because that was our way as well, that we get into this, obviously, and we took this on as our life career. You know, we wanted to make it, and but to be fair, I can see some young people as well who are like taking this seriously. They are in the education for it. They are talented as well. But what I feel like is now, if you start now, what was your the year that you said that you were burnt out and you wanted to go? After like 6 or 7 years, right? So it took you a year to kind of leave it.
I'd say probably, yeah.
Yeah. Before that, you enjoyed it for 6 or 7 years.
Especially at the beginning. Especially at the beginning.
Now, I meet somebody, a waiter, or for example, a bar person. He's in hospitality for 4 years, and he's probably more burnt out than me. And he started 4 years ago. And he didn't work in like literally like quick service or the worst areas. He worked in a very well established place where he didn't need to do too much. Yet he's still burnt out. It's probably because of the. Honestly, I'm not sure what changed.
Yeah, what do you think? Why is that? Why people are burnt out so much? I think it could be one of the reasons could be social media. Because, you know, back then all we wanted is a better life. And you didn't see the brilliant life. And now, for us, that was the goal, and for them, the influencers are the goal. And it's so far, like taking orders in a restaurant, cleaning plates off. It's just so far from it. And I think probably that's why.
Could be. Or, you know, the environment that we work in, it was very different as well. Because, listen, so you start your shift, right? You interact with your first few tables, and you kind of like, okay, I'm proud of what we do, so I'm gonna take you through the experience. And people, they let you, and then they enjoy their visit, everything goes fine, and then they're gonna leave you £10 cash, right? So you have like 5 tables like this. The rest of them, they don't leave you tip or whatever, or they leave on a card or whatever happens. And then and then it depends on the place you work at. So you either keep that money or you need to put it in a pot, and then it's gonna be shared. But at the end of the day, you will get a decent chunk of money on a Saturday night that you're gonna take home with you. And as you look at it, I'm like, oh my God, yeah, this is kind of my reward for it.
Absolutely, because
this doesn't exist. This doesn't exist. This does not exist. For us, back then it was worth it. It was worth it, like way more than it is right now. Somebody who's just beginning, for example, in my place, they're gonna get the service charge, yes, but they don't see the reward every day.
Yeah, I remember when I started, we shared most of the tips were in cash,
Yeah.
and then every night it was part of the closing procedure to count the tips and check how many hours you work. Yeah, there you go, 30 quid for you, 50 quid for you, 20 quid for you, and then you were rewarded for working more straight away. You saw the fruit of your hard work.
And now we can't really reward them. Well, going one step further, we can't even provide them with the hours.
Yeah.
With the hours. It's just literally after, it's not just Brexit. I feel like it was more COVID as well. Because people realized that, oh my god, our status in the UK and just anywhere else, it's very fragile. So something like this happens, and then I have to stop working because the place closed where I'm at because of the virus and all that. And then they literally, how to say, they don't want to spend as much on their entertainment as they would. So they are way more cautious. And this hospitality was about entertaining people, giving them the good experience, saying happy birthday, whatever. So they're gonna reward you for it. And then you felt good as well because you kind of made them
your
happy.
job well.
Yes, you did your job
You
well.
had
You
the
made
job
them happy.
satisfaction.
They complimented you, and then it wasn't like, so we barely had any staff members who only worked 2 days a week. Everybody worked minimum 5 days, and they got the 40 hours. So they were used to doing it, so they were better at their job.
Yeah.
And then basically that's how it worked.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. COVID changed a lot. Also, the other thing is, before COVID, there were less restaurants doing takeout.
Oh yeah.
Because there were many restaurants we are just a seat in, you know. And then when the government said you cannot have any people inside the restaurant, but you can do takeout, then everybody started to do. Even restaurants who would like a steak restaurant would never do takeouts before COVID, and now they do, and it's just so oversaturated, and also people more likely to just order something, stay at home.
Yeah, very
You know.
true.
So it ends up less people in the restaurant, so you need less hours for the waiters. So
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, it's a little bit more difficult than it was, but you know.
you see, when I started, I looked at it as a huge opportunity. I remember coming to the country and literally I slept on the sofa of the head chef for like 2 weeks. I didn't even have a place to stay at. When I first came to the UK, I've been offered a waiter position, not even a waiter, like a kitchen porter position by an area manager at the Italian chain we used to work at. And obviously I didn't know anyone in the UK. I only had this contact, only had this guy, Portuguese guy. His English wasn't great, to be honest. It was really hard to understand him. I remember calling him up and I was trying, okay, is that how English sounds like?
Yeah.
And then basically he said, okay, I've got a room for you at Woodbridge. He said, you guys, me and my ex, we go together, and then we're gonna have a room. He told us how much we have to pay for the room. He sent all the details, 5 minutes walk to the restaurant, and then he's gonna pick us up at the airport in 2 days, you know. So we bought the tickets, we were so excited, we went to the airport, we landed at Luton, and then I think he did like 2 hours. But it's okay,
Yeah.
you know, we were like, fine, no problem. And the guy picked us up, and then we stopped in like 5-6 different restaurants which was under his area, and then we stopped at Felixstowe, and he said, oh yeah, you guys gonna just stay here. I'm like, what do you mean you stay here? Like, we have our room prepared for us at Woodbridge. And he was like, yeah, this restaurant needs the stuff more than the other one. So I was like, okay, but where are we gonna sleep? Where are we gonna sleep? The head chef has a sofa. It's gonna be nice and comfortable for you. I'm like, yeah, okay. So 2 weeks we slept, 2 of us slept on a single sofa.
Yeah.
Wasn't very comfortable.
Yeah.
And then obviously, you know, calling mom, oh, how is everything? Oh, amazing. Yeah, love it. It's just so good. So good here. So yeah, the beginning was definitely hard.
Yeah, I understand, but I think it was worth it, to be honest. Even
100%.
Even then.
100%.
Yeah. Right. So there's another segment I wanted to go through with you. This would be called Behind the Smile.
Okay.
It's about servers' mental health and how basically, how all of these years of working in places like this and working in more posh places as well, how did it affect your mental health when you were a server?
I become a little bit numb to everything after a while. They just cannot surprise you anymore.
Yeah.
You've been shouted at, you've been told nicely. You see, after a while they can't surprise you anymore. So it's definitely affected, not on the right way, because you just put on a mask.
Yeah.
You just put on a mask, and then even if someone's nice, they can turn into a complaining guest like this. So it's definitely affected.
Yeah, but listen, it's not like about the complaint, because if the complaint is valid, I'm totally understand.
Exactly, you had a point.
Side,
If the complaint is valid.
If the complaint is valid. But that's the thing that I don't know, how I feel like is as soon as people step through a restaurant into a hospitality setting, it's almost like some of them, they kind of forget basic manners as well.
True.
And I understand that it's a very important occasion for you, that you come here and you spend your money and everything, but at the end of the day, you interact with another human.
Yeah, 100%.
You interact with another human,
100%.
It's not like, oh yes, the customer is always right, and then
You're not slaves,
We are not slaves. It's interesting that you brought this up, because this phrase, the customer is always right, I actually looked up.
It's very
when
outdated.
it was originated, and it originated in 1908.
Okay.
1908.
Things were different back then.
In 1908 there was slavery as well. And so now if we literally have this value that, oh yes, I'm sitting on this side of the table, you are my server, I have to be always right. My steak is medium rare and I ask for well done, but we clearly see that it's almost burnt. But I say it's medium rare, then
I'm right. No, you're not.
Exactly. And it just, I feel like some of us or some people, they cannot cope with this, because I can see my colleagues from previous places as well. I can see them like,
taking it to their heart, isn't it?
Of course, because you see, you're putting on this nice, picture for the outside, even if you know that you are right, that we basically made no mistake, but you're saying, yes, we did. Even though you're going to apologize. I'm so sorry, let me solve this for you. And we solve it, even we know that it's not right. And then, I can see them on the back of the house, or in the linen cupboard, or wherever, they are literally broken by this. So many people, they are broken, they just show that they are so good, they are so nice, yes, everything is okay, but it really affects so many people in a way that some guests wouldn't even think of.
I agree. And I think, some of them just giving their frustration out on waiters. They being told off by their boss, they didn't get the pay rise they want. The wife is cheating on them, and then they go to an establishment where they think they got some power over the 16-year-old waiter who was taking their order. And even though sometimes they know they are at the wrong, but I'm right because I'm the customer, I understand, customers pay the wages. Absolutely, that's a fact. Customer pay the wages, but they cannot take the piss. There's a big difference in between coming in to a restaurant, ordering something, your order is not right, mentioning it, and the restaurant changes for you. Everyone's happy, no problem. But when you're just there to take the piss, to show that I'm just above you guys, that's...
How many times they don't even mention that something was wrong. You go there, you ask, it's in the steps of service, guys. We go there to check back your food.
In every restaurant, they should check back.
Exactly. And then we go there and check, everything is okay. And if you say yes, we assume it is all good. Happy days, let's go.
Especially when you ate 80% of it.
Yeah. Exactly. And then after the fact, you're gonna mention to me that this wasn't right, that wasn't right. You know, that's just like literally okay, but I checked if everything was okay.
That was the reason
Why
why
am I
I
there?
approached your table and asked if you are enjoying your food or not.
Yes, exactly. Anyway, and back to like the basic manners as well. You know, so many times you literally go to the table, you greet them the nicest way possible. They don't even look at you, they're just gonna tell you, water, I want water. It's like, okay, cool, I just greeted you. Nice to meet you as well. Fantastic job, here is your water. Or you're literally standing, or just, honestly, this is personal experience. Probably some of you are viewing, we had this as well. You're literally, like, on the section, looking after tables. Somebody approaches me and just gonna tell me, just looks at me dead in the eye and gonna say, toilet.
Yeah, but on the basic manners, like literally, did we forget to speak in sentences?
Yeah, like, nice to meet you, Mr. Toilet. My name is George. How can I help you? You know, it's like that. It's so crazy.
You're not talking to a machine.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not even an AI.
Yeah.
Most people talk nicer to the AIs than they talk to the servers, like
Exactly,
because they are scared of the AI. You know that.
And it still blows my mind after 10 years in this, that like, how is that possible? For example, would you do this in another setting? If you go somewhere else where, for example, for a bank, you go to a bank, you want to, I don't know, put money in your account, and you just say money or whatever. You
Yeah.
know, you go and
Yeah.
speak normal sentences.
Yeah.
If you go to, I don't know, to the doctor, you're not gonna just speak one word to the doctor. You're gonna tell them, "Hi."
Yeah, because they
This is
respect the
not-
doctor and sometimes they just don't respect the server.
Well, they should, to be honest, because most of us have skills that are
They don't.
they don't exactly.
They might be much better in different things, but this is a skill. This is a skill to take 4 or 5 plates, to have manners, you know, to be able to remember your order, to send it in
Yeah.
promptly.
Of course. And to step 15,000 steps while carrying plates and drinks
Yeah.
and all that, it's kind of a feat of strength that we are all used to, and we kind of feel it on our bodies as well
Of course.
after all these years.
And all the long nights, you know, you're not finishing 5 o'clock
No, no,
like in the office,
we
you
don't have
know.
a 9 to 5 here, not at all.
What you're one of those who finishes like so late.
Yeah.
What time you usually finish?
Well, it's very rare if I finish before 2 in the morning.
2 a.m. That's mad.
And I start at 4 o'clock most of the time.
That messes up your biological clock as well.
I recently noticed that now I cannot sleep longer, which is kind of like, it scares me a little bit, I'll be honest with you. I'm gonna go and, I don't know, see a doctor about it, because even on my days off, I wake up earlier than my alarm. I haven't heard my alarm in months, and it's kind of weird. And I go to sleep around like literally 2 o'clock, and I wake up at 7:30, which is not enough sleep. So it's kind of the lack of sleep that's kind of scares me, that it's kind of weird.
Because you see, you're physically tired. Your brain just doesn't switch off properly.
Yeah, no, it can't.
Because
Even-
your biological clock is just so messed up.
Yeah,
Your body has no clue. Is it night? Shall I sleep? Shall I be awake? What's going on?
yeah.
Do I have to go back to work again? You know, or
Yeah.
even on your days off?
Exactly.
I guess other people feel it in normal, different professions as well. But it's just...
Yeah. So listen, I'm not saying that this is the most difficult job in the world. It's just we are not being heard. Hospitality workers, they are not being heard because we don't speak out. That's my goal with this podcast, to actually get this message to everyone. Because I think who is in hospitality gonna be relating to this, because they have all the similar issues, everything that we're talking about they have. But I want almost everybody to see this, so they would realize that if I go to a restaurant or any kind of hospitality setting and my server smiles at me, probably
That's an effort.
that's an effort.
That's an
And-
effort.
And if you see some kind of senior management stuff, they might not they might not be like as happy as they seem, you know, and it's way more difficult for them than you would think. So this actually leads into my next segment, as that it's a question that what do you think? Is hospitality the most one-sided industry in the world?
Most one-sided.
Yes.
On a way, yes. On a way, it's definitely quite one-sided because, you know, it's not a back and forth. It's not guaranteed that the guest you serve gonna appreciate what you do.
That's one. And, well, my thinking behind this was that if you think about it, you go to, for example, take at your business. You accept someone as your client, as a personal trainer, and then they don't show up. They not follow what you say. They are just not good clients. You don't want to work with them anymore. Then you're gonna. Then you have the right to say sorry, but you need to find a different PT.
Especially if they don't do their payments, right?
Exactly. Especially if they don't do that, or if they, for example, I don't know, complain to you about the gym manager without some unvalid reason.
Yeah. You see, I have the right to pick who I want to work
Exactly.
with.
Yes, that's personal training. It's very personal. But for example, if you, I don't know, if you miss payments in the banks or you do something that's not right, they have a right to say, okay, we're not going to give you an account anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say if you come to the restaurant, everything was fine. You said everything was okay. You leave the restaurant and then you write a big complaint. And what's going to happen is that they're going to give you a voucher, they're going to apologize, the manager is going to, who's in charge of the complaints, is going to look after you, and then you're going to be invited back.
Yeah.
Or even if you shout at the servers, you don't be, you are not being physical, but you're being like, literally like attacking, aggressive, shouting at your server, they still, after the fact, they're going to apologize to you. And they're going to be like, oh, we are so sorry. You write a bad review, and then that's it.
Yeah, you know, it depends obviously on the place as well where you work. Some owners in private restaurants are like, you know, standing up for the stuff properly. But most of the time, especially with big chains, they don't even look into these problems. They just give them a free voucher and welcome back, and they create, you know, a good experience for them, and they don't care about your experience. You see, I have a personal story with this. Once I was working in a restaurant with a Lithuanian friend, you know him.
Yes.
And then we had a guy, and he was just extremely racist to us. So, oh, where are you from? Oh, you behave like this because you're not from the Far East like I am. You know, like oh, yeah, okay, man. All you want is free food and drinks, and we're just asking you to pay for the stuff you had.
Yeah.
And then he was like, no, because you're from here, you're from, you know, just. And then the guy refused to pay for anything, and then he was like, I'm really sorry, you have to pay. And then he started to become aggressive towards us. So we called the police, and then obviously the guy fled before the police arrived. We expected the owner to say, you know, I'm sorry guys, you have to go through this and all that. We'll make sure that man never gonna come back to this establishment.
Yeah.
Instead of that, what happened is the owner contacted this guy and they gave him a free dinner.
Yeah.
And then he came back and he smiled to our face, like, how's that justice?
Yeah, it's just not. And then it's really hard to put up with these kind of stories. It's really hard, to be honest. I don't even know if, you know, any other job role would involve this kind of stress, to be honest with you. Obviously, yes, of course, there are some, you know, when you're a police.
No, definitely.
But listen, you wouldn't think that your server is going through like this, and this wasn't your only table. So the tables around them, you had to be very nice to them. You have to be nice, like nothing happened. Now, if somebody is like this, is gonna tell you like, oh, because you are from here, that's why you behave like this. You take it as like an insult, because it's insulting.
Of course.
And then literally 10 seconds later, you have to smile, talk to a kid, talk to an old lady. Yes, madam, of course, everything is great. How are you? Oh, yeah, it's just really difficult to do it mentally.
Absolutely. You just turn around and keep serving the other table because it's not their fault.
Yes.
Not their fault. No, absolutely. It's definitely stressful. It definitely takes some mental capacity to be able to do that.
Yes. Well, talking about this, I have a dream.
You have a dream.
I have a dream when there would be, you know TripAdvisor?
Yeah.
I have a dream of a platform that's the other way around as well.
Oh, you mean like, so on TripAdvisor they are rating the restaurants and the
Yes.
establishments.
Yes.
And you would want to rate the customers.
Yes.
Okay. How would that work?
It would work in a way that not everybody would be allowed to leave, obviously. So, for example, if it would start tomorrow in my place where I work right now, at the booking, the guest would be informed that we are basically doing this little scheme, and if they agree, then they will be seated to the section where the person is looking after them, who is being trained on this, and will be allowed to leave a review about the guest with their names and everything, if the guest agrees.
I think it should be the other way around. I think it should be like when you have really difficult customers, then you should just
But listen,
write review. Because if you tell them that if you agree then obviously for GDPR reasons.
Yeah.
But when they make the booking, it should just be on the website that just so you know
we can.
You can be rated.
Yeah, that's actually even better. Yeah. Well, yeah. What I thought is that of course, if there is a difficult guess, we just want to put it out there at first.
Yeah.
At first, we just put it out there, like no name, no nothing, just how many people was it there, when did they come, and all that. So people would see that, oh my God, I was there. Who was it?
Yeah,
because some people are so nice. Some people are so nice.
Absolutely, no, it wouldn't be just about negative things.
Some people would really deserve to have like a very positive rating for how nice they are.
It's not even about how much tip they leave.
No, not at all.
It's about the behavior. It's about that respect.
Manners, for example, it's not like I want to have the fish and chips. It's just like, okay, my friend, no problem. Or I will have the fish and chips.
Yeah.
I will have a glass of Coke.
Are you a fortune teller or what?
Okay, no problem.
Let's see if you're gonna have it.
There's the kitchen. Go ahead, cook it for yourself.
Yeah, you just
if you will have it, I'm literally there to take your order, and then kind of like help you with your order, if you don't know what to have or you don't know what that sauce is.
Yeah, guys, saying please and thank you goes a long way.
Yeah, it does. Well, we kind of like went through segment 5 as well with like most recent complaints or most annoying guests. But if you have like another guest complaint,
I'd say probably that was one of the
most difficult to deal with, isn't it?
Yeah, I would say so. What about you? What was your most difficult guest?
Honestly, there was so many. I can't even recall one that was like very difficult. Well, to be honest, it's very difficult to recall someone right now.
You don't even have to.
It's literally like that, We're not here to talk about my experience because it's a long time. I mean, which restaurant setting you want me to?
Yeah, there's so many, isn't there? But there's also so many lovely people as well. So many, nice families, returning guests, who is just like, it's a pleasure to serve them. Pleasure to have a chat with them, to add that little extra to their day, that they come in, you already know what they're gonna drink, you prepare it, and they're like, oh my God, that's your drink. Oh yeah, you're so nice, So absolutely, some people are just like, sprinkle of joy, but some of them are really difficult.
Yeah.
And as you said, it's a very one-sided industry.
It is.
Where you have no choice who you work with.
Yeah.
Whoever comes through the door, you just have to serve them.
Yeah.
Have to serve them. Good, are we done?
I think.
Shall we wrap up?
Yes, let's wrap up. Well, we're going to have more guests as well. Obviously, I'm gonna have people from all industries. That's my plan. Want to have people from my past who I work with in the past, and then who I work presently as well. They are all excited about this little conversation that we're gonna have here, and I think we're just gonna go from here. To be honest with you, and I think it's gonna work well. I think this episode went well as well.
Yeah, probably it's gonna be available on Spotify and on YouTube.
On YouTube, yes.
On YouTube,
Yes,
and subscribe and like and do all that.
Yeah, we're gonna be called Bite the Bullet.
Yeah, and keep your eyes out for episode 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, hopefully, and all that.
Yes.